Sponsored and promoted by Legit Paranormal.
Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me, Mike Leopard King Mike L. This is Legit Paranormal Clips, our inaugural Legit Paranormal Clips. Let's see. You could be viewing all of our shows right at www.legitpodcast.com. Or you could be watching it on YouTube. You can watch it on your phone. You could do whatever it is that you want to do. Now, my co-host, Buddy Money Thayer, is doing what he does best, which would be having trouble logging on to a computer. Not joking. Dead truth. Has trouble logging on to his computer. So it is January 19th, 2000. I'm out of focus. Hopefully I come back in focus. Watch this one. Come on. Wow, that looks pretty cool, though. I kind of look like almost like I look pastel. I'm going to stick with this. I look like clay. It is January 19th, 2023. I look like this is what like women do, or sometimes men, when they take photos and they post them on Facebook. They like white out their face so you can't see any wrinkles. You're like, we're supposed to believe that someone doesn't have wrinkles on their face. I hate this. Hey, buddy, the jinx of Buddy Thayer strikes again. That's all I'm going to say. Look at this shit. This is crazy. I'm enjoying this, though. All right, guys, what we're going to do here is this. We have had some clips submitted from around. It's gonna eventually freak me out. You guys don't understand. Buddy Thayer is cursed, not cursed in like a bad way, like a negative paranormal way, but in a way where like if you're with Buddy, there it is, you're gonna be late or something bad's gonna happen. But that's what it is. So this is a show where we're having submissions from all different types of paranormal investigators, paranormal enthusiasts. Ghost hunting is a tough word for me. A ghost hunter is weird. An investigator is kind of more the deal, I think. Hunter is like you think of somebody with like a butterfly net or one of the Ghostbusters things, basically. So finally joining me from his the studio, he's back in the studio, is Buddy Money Thayer. Buddy, when did you jump in the studio?
Oh, I don't know, Mike. I wasn't sure if we were going to be live outside or in the studio, so I came back inside. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. Oh boy, this sucks. What? Mike disappeared, and Buddy's sitting here, and I'm just sitting here, and I know Santa Claus.
Hey, Buddy! Look what I just did. Look what I just did. It only took me like 3 seconds, and now me and you, we're in the same room.
We're in the same room. Look at that, Mike. Am I coming through okay? My feet's a little slow.
Ooh, but yeah, it always is though, bud. We're both wearing red.
Well, that's
congratulations on that.
Yeah.
What are you on, delay?
I don't know, Mike. It's really slow. It's not usually this slow. This is terrible.
Yeah, maybe you should leave the studio, like, and just.
I think it's because of the background, and if I go back to the to the with the window in the background. I think
Yeah,
that would be more.
I tell you what, instead of wasting 2 minutes telling me about it, just go do it.
I'll go do it, and I'll be back.
All right. First, I'm going to show a clip. Basically, here it is. So we've got submissions. There's some videos that I want to we're going to show, so and then discuss after we watch. So first, however, before we get it going, because we have someone in studio that I want Buddy to introduce. We are partnered up with ECBRO, which is a Bigfoot group, cryptid group out of Virginia. They have a documentary type thing coming out. They're going to be doing the Friday night show at 8 o'clock. And here's the trailer. That is Dan, Bigfoot Benoit. Now, I've met Dan in person, and I think Buddy will vouch for this when he finally comes on. Buddy, are you with me now?
I think I'm with you now, Mike. Yeah.
All right. So I just showed the Dan Benoit's little trailer for his YouTube channel coming up. Now, what I want to say really quick about Daniel Benoit, I should say. I shorten everyone's name. Is let me ask you this: when you first met Daniel Benoit, right? And you size them up, as all guys do. You size somebody up, right? Then you think to yourself, I don't want this guy. This guy looks like if he gets really angry, he's gonna have like all kinds of like rainbow knives and stuff like that.
Yeah, he spends a lot of time in the woods, Mike.
I know.
He looks for Bigfoot. I don't know if Bigfoot's out there. I don't know what Daniel Benoit is doing out there, but
I would,
God bless him in his quest for knowledge, if anything, out there.
Now, Buddy, let's start the videos. Let's introduce our guest. Wait, actually, before we introduce our guest, let's show one of the videos because that's the way we can think what we're seeing and then ask her and she can show us what we're seeing. So
we're going to do all three. We're going to do just one.
Just pick one first right now.
All right, we'll go with the first. Let's go with the first one. I think it's an audio recorder.
All right. Are you going to do it? Or you want me to do it?
Why don't you do it, Mike?
Oh, look at all the pictures. What a fascinating history. Absolutely fascinating.
All right.
I'm not.
I know what it was.
Okay, go ahead.
It sounded like a Carrie type thing towards the very end. That was not the same woman's voice.
All right, yeah. Maggie's shaking her head. So why don't we bring Maggie in and she can give us the context and we can maybe play it again.
Hey, Maggie, how are you?
Good. How are you? You got
technical difficulties because of Buddy, but other than that,
what else
okay.
No, I think it was partly my fault too because I had asked Buddy to send me the link for the studio to my email.
Yeah, just blame Buddy. That's what we do.
It's Buddy's fault, Maggie. That's
what we do here.
Joining us live on the show again. She's been a guest on Legit Paranormal. She's the director of the Rhode Island Paranormal Research Group. Maggie Margaret Florio is sharing with us some of her fantastic clips from her years of investigating. Right. Was
I right, Maggie?
You were right on. It was that whispery voice at the very end. That's me. I'm the voice.
You're walking, right?
I'm walking down a hallway on the USS Salem.
Awesome.
I was below deck. I was all by myself. Everybody else was like in the mess hall or in the sleeping quarters. They were like the other end of the ship. And I was all by myself. That's why I was talking to myself because I was scared, And I'm carrying my recorder and there's like doors on either side. And I looked at one and there was this really cool picture. It was an old picture of the men that had served on the ship. I don't know what year it was from. And that's when I said, oh, that's a cool picture or whatever I said about the picture. And then I went, And then after that, you hear that voice.
So, what do you think what do you think is being said?
I think it's a name, and I sent this recording to the Greater Boston Paranormal Association, the GBPA.
Yes.
They kind of run things, for the paranormal. They were the ones that were hosting us. And I said, what do you think it says? Have you ever heard this voice before? I thought it said Jimmy. They thought it said Jenny. And then today I was listening to it and I'm like, that sounds like Jerry, but it's a name and it's at the beginning, a Y sound at the end.
It sounds like
play it again, Mike, before we
I'm
move
going to
on?
play it again, but can I tell you what what I thought I heard? I thought I heard Jemmy. But
Yep.
I'm talking with M's, Jemmy, like a Jemmy, like a, I don't know. That's what I thought I heard. That's why I was like, oh, there it is. Let's play it.
Jenny, Jimmy.
Let's try it again.
Yep.
Oh, look at all the pictures. What a fascinating history. Absolutely fascinating.
I think like Jimmy or Jerry for sure.
Could have been Jimmy or Gimme. I hate to say that. That I know that's improper English, but
Yeah.
I swear to you, in a weird way, it almost sounds like Gimme.
Could be gimme. Maybe they wanted me to give them something. I don't know.
See, I've been on the Salem. That's like the only haunted place I've ever gone to, and I know that there's things on the Salem. Like it's a weird place. My wife was on the boat, and she heard a little girl's voice, clear as day.
Wow.
Right, buddy?
Yeah, we have a recording of the little girl that they talk about down in the what is
the
it,
engine.
the anchor room or something. She's supposed to be down there. We have it a few times. So that ship has a lot of different entities, I think, that tend to manifest on it. Anywhere from the chief to the little girl to various other God knows what.
I have a theory on the Salem. I actually have a theory on the Salem. I think that stuff comes aboard. It seems like there's always something new. Like, I'm being dead serious. They're always like, oh, yeah, there's something happened on this side. Or we heard something over here now. And then something happened on this. So it's weird. It's almost like they come aboard. But that could be just me.
You think, like moving water, Maggie, you think anything, it's sitting on a river, do you think that has anything to do to play into the energy that exists in the ship?
Over there. It's kind of stagnant, but I guess further out it moves. I think that might have something to do with it. I think that the history of the ship has a lot to do with it, especially when they did the rescue in Greece. There was a disaster in Greece, and they were sent down there. That ship was sent down there to rescue the Greek people that were being affected by this disaster. And some of them died on the ship. Some of them were hurt so bad they died there.
See,
so it's not
now that ship's been through hell, right? There's been all kinds of things it's done. We went into the room where they would where somebody would draw on their dry erase board and they would play and everything. It was like the front of the ship, the captain's room or whatever it was.
You went down like two decks and you were in this room that looked like you were straight out of the 1950s. It had like all the plotting maps and stuff and all
time stopped in that room.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Time literally stopped in that room.
Dead silent in that.
No sign, no nothing, not even like a whisper. It was just odd. What would you like to go to next for Maggie's clips?
She's the next one is the other recorder. I think we should save the video for last, and maybe or maybe we go to the photos next, whichever.
Buddy, you're the guy who tells me to be the guy to take care of the other stuff.
Mike, how about we show one of the photos? You know what the photos that I'm talking about?
Right, you don't gotta get angry about it.
I'm not getting angry. I'm just saying I'm very excited, Mike. The one from Fort Adams is very particularly cool.
All right, I'm trying to find. Excuse me while I look for the pictures because I don't know if I have photos right
It's
now.
a thermal mic. It looks like this, like somebody standing in the foreground and then somebody in the background, almost
Oh, all right.
very
This.
obvious. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, wait. Now, Maggie, before you talk, let me tell you what I think I'm seeing. All right. It looks like a half. All right. Remember when Will Ferrell did the guy where he comes for the art class and just takes off his robe and he's nude and they're like, oh no, and they make him put it back on. He has the long hair, or even in the need more bell cow thing, the long hair. What's that? That guy looks like a side profile of a guy with like long hair, but it's starting to bald with a beard. I can see his arm, shoulder, chest looking sideways. That's what I see. Could be wrong. Probably am. Buddy, what do you see?
I see, honestly, I'm just gonna I know it's like the cliche paranormal, but it almost looks like a little girl in a white dress, with she's got dark hair and it's maybe shoulder length, and she's in a long, you see at her waistline where maybe there's a separation, maybe there'd be like a ribbon or some kind there, and it's a long straight dress. I can't say if it's white or not.
All right.
But
But what gets me is that's not a beard. That's a little girl with a beard.
yeah, man, I don't know. That maybe it's the shadow of her neck to it. I don't know.
Really? And I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, you know what else made me think that it was a beard and a guy? Because I think that's Maggie, and she looks like she's wearing Randy Macho Man Savage's glasses.
All
Ooh,
right, in the front.
Oh, yeah. Right? Like, I'm just saying. All right, Maggie, what was it that we were looking at?
okay, so what you were looking at a picture of a picture.
Mhm.
Andy Laird had an app on his phone that turns the camera of the phone into a thermal camera. And he was just trying it out. That was like the first night trying it out. Cindy and I were in the Powder magazine at Fort Adams, and he says, can I come in? And, you know, we said, sure. And so he was talking to us and scanning the room, and he stops and he's got the camera pointed at me, and he says, Cindy, come here. And Cindy went over and looked at the screen, and she's like, take a picture of it. And he's like, I don't know how. I just got this app. So she took a picture of it, and I could feel somebody behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It felt cold, and I could feel, I said, she's on my left side, isn't she? Now, whenever I go in the Powder magazine, I encounter this woman. It's a woman. It's not a girl. It's a woman. And I'll have you look closer at the picture, and then you'll say, oh, yeah.
But is that a beard?
It's not. No, the figure in front that's all colorful, that's me.
Mm-hmm. Macho Man Savage.
Yeah, Macho Man Savage. The figure in the back, it's a woman. There's like an alcove there. It's like a doorway. So she's standing in the doorway. And Buddy was right. That's a shadow that you see. It's like a shadow around her head. And see, she's got her arm, like her hand, resting on her bosom. And she's got a dress on that has like an empire waist on it. And then it just kind of falls straight down from there.
Yeah.
And
Wait a minute. Time out.
What?
Is she going like this?
She's not cupping her breasts.
All right. Is she doing this?
She's kind of like resting.
This?
Yeah, like resting hand on her.
Oh, I meant that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize. I meant to drop the picture.
Maybe she was like surprised to see us, and she was like, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because I was scared to death if she was like this.
Yeah, right.
Gotta get that ghost out of here. So you felt cold when it was there, right?
I did. I felt like there was somebody behind me, and it felt cold. And I assumed it was her because I encounter her in the Potter magazine all the time. No, they couldn't see her, but they could see her on the screen in the thermal, but they couldn't, like, they were looking, like they'd look over and there would just be black. They couldn't see her. visually, only on the camera. And then Andy said, Maggie, can you move to the side? And I'm like, which side? And then I decided to move to my right so he could get a better shot of her. And the screen just went all blurry and she was gone. So yeah.
The cold, I always ask this, the cold, is it because it's something that's dead, or is it cold because it's something that's bad?
I think
neither.
Well,
I think it was like an energy, but I was feeling it as cold.
Okay.
Or it's always cold in there anyway, but I was feeling like there was somebody behind me, and I was cold. I was really cold. I think taking the warmth out of the air so that she could show herself, or so she would have the energy to do something. You know.
Yeah. You know what? That makes so much sense, because doing 2 years or whatever of this paranormal stuff with Buddy, we've realized the main commodity in life is energy.
Right.
That's odd enough to say, but it's just true. It's what others want and what you have. It's just how it goes. It's energy.
Yeah.
That's just my 2 cents.
Same can definitely be said about the paranormal. Absolutely.
Very well said.
What would you like to see next, buddy?
Let's do the next clip with the audio. It's an audio receipt recorder.
All right. Is at the end. It went what did you hear, buddy? Is at the very end.
In the middle before she started to talk about the ball, but I'm not sure.
Was it in the middle? Maggie.
No.
At the end?
Yes.
Oh.
So it was a but I couldn't make out what was being said.
Yeah. I think it says hello.
Hello. That was like, oh, sorry. So then I went, hello? Because that was I'm trying to match the note as a musician. That's literally what I was trying to do there. I heard at the end,
That's what it said.
Right.
And
I gotta play it again. Maggie. Hold on.
Yeah, I heard that.
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's hello. The cadence is too spaced for me to be hello. It's like it literally goes
okay.
Maybe hello, but I could put a bunch of other words in there. But that one's tough for me. I mean, serious. Like I hear it, but I don't know if I hear hello. But you tell me why it's hello, because you know, I don't know.
We were at the SK Pierce Mansion in Gardner, Massachusetts, otherwise known as the Victorian, the SK Victorian, and we were on the second floor. Myself, Cindy, who you hear talking, and Nancy. And the setup looked like a nursery. It had a crib. And
I know exactly what you mean.
It had a tricycle. Had a little school desk, and it had some toys on the floor. So the three of us were sitting on the floor, and Cindy was asking if there were any children that wanted to play, and she's like, well, here's a tray and here's a ball, and she says, do you want me to roll it and we can play? And then you hear that like that, and it sounds like a child's voice.
It does.
All right. What if she's saying
She might be saying Can
I give it one more shot? Because you just said that in a weird way. It makes
You could go. I think there's a lot of different directions you could go with that. I
Yeah.
definitely hear high pitched. Definitely like maybe one or two syllables. But
Yeah.
I think there's 2 syllables. I think it's I think
yeah,
she
I don't think
kind
I
of
can
sings it.
distinguish exactly what's being said. But
I,
honestly, from my own experiences in that
oh,
very room, I have a music box being recorded coming out of nowhere. So it's a very active room and a very active haunt.
Maggie,
what?
what was it that we heard? What like was it? Do you think it's what did you? So wait, it's hello because she sings it.
We played it for the people that were there that night that opened it up for us. I don't know if they were the owners or just people that were taking care of it.
Mm-hmm.
I they were
Marion, was it Marion?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they were there because she couldn't be there or something. No,
Okay.
they were helping her out.
All right.
And, but they knew the history of the house, and the man had written a book about the history of the house.
You know who you're talking about?
And they said it sounded like the spirit of a little boy who died in a bicycle accident. He was hit in front of the house. He was riding a bicycle, and he was hit in front of the house. And he comes in and plays with the little girl spirit. I don't know, because there was a little girl that died in the house. That's been documented.
Was that the girl that died in the cistern? That died in the well in the basement? That drowned?
No, that was a boy. Supposedly,
yeah, boy, yeah.
The girl was the owner's daughter, and she died of like a stomach virus. It was really awful. Really awful.
You know what? Before we go to the next clip, I realize what makes me dumb is that I forget that boys have high pitched voices.
Yeah, until they're probably.
Now, you don't understand though, Maggie. That's how dumb my head works. I'm just thinking in my head, a guy would sound like, oh, hey, like Buddy sounds. All right, what are we seeing next, Buddy?
I think her last clip is the video clip, which is by far my favorite.
Oh no!
All right.
I sent you.
Is there another picture?
Remember the thermal one? I don't know if.
There's another thermal photograph, Mike. I think.
I do not have it.
Okay.
I have USFL photos. I don't think you want to look at those. That's what I have next up.
I thought I sent you 2 thermals. Let me look.
You know what?
Quick.
Every now and then, Maggie, meaning every show, Buddy makes a mistake. Let's roll the film, and I'm gonna see what I think of it.
I mean, look at this. This is sweet shit. Look at this. Ready? Here we go again. It pushes from the side of where the camera is. Light goes on, light goes off, and look at the door. There's nobody there. I tried to debunk this up and down, and I can't do it, man. This was, you know the kitchen?
Yeah.
Where she wants everyone to put their drinks? That's where it was.
Oh, okay.
Now look at it. Do it again. The light shuts off and on, and the door opens and closes by itself, and there is nobody there.
It's almost like a motion sensor.
Look at this, man. Look at this.
Wow.
Now, I have footage of you walking in and out of that door.
Yeah.
Dawn, you, and Sarah.
All right. That was scary shit. Shiznizzle. So basically what I'm saying is that scared me. All right. The door. Now, I really need to know the landscape of this building because behind those doors is what? Just the kitchen? A kitchen that doesn't attach to another room?
It's a break room.
Oh God. So it's a room unto itself.
Yeah. And we were using it that night. We were using it to like store our equipment and our snacks and stuff. So what had happened was one of our investigators put a motion activated trap camera at the end of a row of books just outside the break room, facing, down to the other side of the library. And, throughout the review, he would see people like going in and then coming out. But this time there were no people. And we watched this over and over and over again. And
where was this at again, Maggie? What location?
That's the Providence Athenaeum. It's on Benefit Street. in Providence. It's where Eddie Brown and Sarah Whitman courted.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Look at that, huh?
Can I ask a question though? In the kitchen, are there windows?
I don't think so. I don't remember. This was a few years ago, like
Because
years
all
ago.
I can think of, the only thing I can think of in my head to make myself feel better that it's not real, is that maybe there was a window open and a breeze, and then maybe there's
I don't know, Mike.
a light, a motion detecting light somewhere in the building.
Maybe you're reaching a little bit.
I'm trying as hard as I can, but I'm just asking the question.
There
No,
may have
I find it interesting that one door.
buddy,
opens.
I'm not asking you. God, buddy, why do you speak for people? HR Tuesday, 11:30. Bring your whole book of pamphlets. Go ahead,
Okay.
Maggie. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm joking. I'm just joking. These are all jokes. Just continue. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, if you ever want to take a look, you can always. It's a public building. You can, and it's a library, but I don't remember if there was a window.
I don't think the window would have done that anyways. I'm just literally going from like what I know somebody would say
Mhm.
and bringing it to the forefront. Like I
like
write down
window.
what I think someone would say as far as like if they were trying to debunk it. So the first thing they would ask is there a window in the kitchen? Is there a breeze?
I don't think there was a motion activated switch in there either, because
No.
I remember having to turn on the light like using a switch. That I kind of remember.
Plus the breeze doesn't work because why does the door close?
And
Two doors.
a window, it wouldn't be in front of the door, it would be off to the side. There was no window in front of the door. Like you walk in and there's a wall and a table and a couple of chairs, and the window would be to the left. So it wouldn't be blowing like right at the door. It would be blowing side.
Oh, there goes that theory. All right.
Yeah.
And there's two doors, and if I'm correct, only one of them moves. The other one stays completely still.
But what
Can we do it again? Can we play it again?
Yeah. But buddy, you can lock one door and not the other. Not to be
Well, right,
that
that's what
guy.
I'm saying.
Not to be that guy.
I mean, look at this. This is sweet shit. Look at this. Ready? Here we go again. It pushes from the side of where the camera is. Light goes on, light goes off, and look at the door. There's nobody there. I tried to debunk this up and down, and I can't do it, man. This was, the kitchen?
Yeah.
Where she wants everyone to put their drinks. That's where it was.
Oh, okay.
Now look at it. Do it again. The light shuts off and on, and the door opens and closes by itself, and there is nobody there.
It's almost like a motion sensor.
Look at this, man. Look at this.
Wow.
Now I have footage of you walking in and out of that door.
Yeah.
Dawn, you, and Sarah.
Who said it's almost like a motion sensor? Maggie?
What?
Whose voice was it that said it's almost like a motion sensor?
We were reviewing evidence.
Hmm.
Yeah, but who's the guy?
I don't know. My sound wasn't on.
No. But so one of the, it's funny. I didn't, what's funny is we watched that footage. You said the other door was closed. It was actually wide open the whole time. The other door, it never moved.
It
But
never.
Well, yeah, but the other door never moved. That's
But
what
I'm
it
just
was.
saying, like how
Other one.
hard it is to remember stuff. And then I actually heard just now somebody say it's almost like a motion sensor.
Emotion.
Because that's what I was thinking. And someone just said it in that video. Did you hear it at the end? The guy say it?
Hmm.
All right, good.
Yeah,
Am I crazy?
one of the investigators, because that was during an evidence review, and so it was probably one of the investigators that was actually like taken during the evidence review, because somebody thought it was so cool they wanted to take the video of it.
No, that's very freaky, Maggie. And we got this right here.
Oh, there it is.
Now, wait. Buddy, what do you see?
All right, I see in the left side of the photo, if you look, there's different like shades of blue almost, and you can almost see through the shades. Maybe a woman, Victorian dress, long brown hair. And then on the mantle, of course, that's a vase and not a sexual object, but
Phallic
that's what I
symbol.
see in the photo.
Let's just
It's
say phallic symbol.
it's
Yeah,
not.
the phallic symbol. Yeah, it looks
Oh.
almost phallic, Mike, but it's a
All
vase,
right.
I think.
So here's what I see. I'm standing the whole time, and I can see one of those spaceships, like those old photos that were popular in the '90s. I'm joking. What I see on the right side looks like Alfred Hitchcock peeping in to see what's going on. Then I see a green chair, what looks to be like a phallic symbol wearing a cowboy hat.
Right. Oh, that's good. That's good, Mike.
Being honest. And then in the blue, it's to the left, it looks like there could be somebody sitting there. I can kind of make out almost eyes and a mouth and a face, but I could be completely wrong. Let me just drop this. I guarantee I'm wrong about the phallic symbol wearing a cowboy hat. But Maggie, what did we just see?
It looks like that. I mean, when we were reviewing the evidence, and I ever saw that, I just said, who left their sex toy on the mantle?
Wearing a cowboy hat.
That's actually a mantle, a fireplace mantle. We were at the Payne House Museum in Coventry, right down the street from me, and where that figure, okay, I don't know what that little red guy in the bowler hat is. I have no clue.
Well, yeah, huh?
Alfred Hitchcock.
But it's red, so it means there's like a heat signature. I have a feeling that it's like maybe another investigator, or something that had heat coming off it. But I don't think it's anything paranormal. So that green thing that you said looks like a chair is actually the fireplace. And then where the figure is, there's a wall. And then to the left of the figure, there's a doorway.
Yep.
So, and when we went back, and I compared this to like where everything was set up, that figure would have been like 6 feet up in the air.
Right.
Like it was really, really tall. And that was in the parlor. So the ceilings aren't quite so low in that section of the house. And I'm like, she would have had to be like way up here. It was really strange the way she was positioned.
Sorry, guys. I've myself done, I think I'm nearing 500 hours of podcasting. And I have never been at a point where I'm about to start laughing and not be able to stop laughing if I keep looking at that photo, because as God as my witness, if that doesn't look like a full phallic symbol with the bottoms, with the cousins wearing a cowboy hat, then I'm crazy. Look,
it's not. It's one of those glass vases, like is kind of flipped out at the bottom, and it's got flowers in it. So that's not a cowboy hat. It's flowers.
Yeehaw! Little doggy. Mr. Phallic symbol with the nephews.
Funny what thermal imaging will do to actual photography.
So I am an infant. I'm sorry, but come on.
That goes to show you that, anything can turn up in your paranormal photographs. You never know.
Wouldn't that be the curse of me if that was what happened? Phallic symbols with cowboy hats everywhere I went. I'd be like, I don't know. I would just lay in bed. That's it. I'm not going places where there's going to be phallic symbols like that wearing cowboy hats. It would eventually get to me, I think.
Again, this was taken with the thermal app on Andy's phone, but this time he knew how to capture the picture, so nobody had to take a picture of the picture. But he didn't really see that. He didn't really see it. We reviewed it.
Oh, phallic symbols there. Maggie, thank you for the clips and the pictures.
You're welcome.
We're gonna move on to some of Ocean State Paranormal clips.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yay.
we bid you adieu. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming on,
Those
Maggie.
were amazing. The door thing, that's a good one. I can't wait to watch that on replay. And the phallic symbol, I am going to snip,
It's
zoom
always
in
gonna be
on,
his line
and that
for the
may
next
be
days.
on a T-shirt very soon. But thank you so much for joining us,
You're welcome.
Thanks, Maggie.
buddy. What do we get next?
Ooh, well, I have quite a few audio clips that you want to, if you want to just like.
Ow. Hey. Ow.
Okay, so that was myself and Catherine.
Wait. Time out. You don't get to say what it was. Matter of fact, me and Maggie are gonna tell you what we think we heard. I don't know how you think this show works.
I didn't hear what you put up there. I
Right.
heard different.
Ow. Hey. Ow.
Ow, man, ow. Maggie?
I hear help me help.
Maybe.
What if it's helped me now?
Could be.
Again.
So that
Ow. Hey. Ow.
for me, I still hear the cadence of the T at the end of the out. Get out.
First word's the same. It's out, get out. That's what she's saying. Because the first
Yeah.
word and the third word have the exact same cadence, sound,
Exactly.
and ending to it. So it's
You
out.
see, you can hear the
out.
T at the end too. Yes.
All right, I'm with you.
All right. So that was taken in the basement suite of the Hygeia house on Block Island. Case 3. Anything you see from Case 3 will be from Hygeia house on Block Island.
that was right. Where am I going next?
Go ahead, Mike. Take me to anywhere. I'll talk about it.
All right.
Oh yeah, with your I figure you had a musket, flintlock,
Cavalry sword.
cavalry sword. He was a captain, so he led a small brigade of, or not brigade. Oh Jesus, it'd be called a platoon. Nowadays, I don't believe they called it a platoon back then.
Oh, wait a minute.
So this is one of my favorite of all time. But
Am I supposed to? So I heard a guy said I did that, but then there was a
before that,
woman.
there's another one.
There's a woman or somebody that says something.
There's a woman that says she says bayonet.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't like the fact that you write it down, and you want us to hear what you wrote down. Like, erase
That's
it
how we
next
produce
time.
the
I want to
videos,
just
Mike.
hear it and guess the words myself. I don't want to bounce around with the bouncing ball with Buddy. That's not like me. Maggie,
No,
what
that's
did you
video
hear?
for me, Mike. I'm sorry.
Maggie, what did you hear?
I heard a voice talking while they were talking. Like I heard it, it was in the background. So I really couldn't tell what it was saying.
But it definitely said I did that at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was so that house belonged to the man who built that house was a member of the Rhode Island First Cavalry from the Civil War, and he was one of 40 survivors. Peggy, if you went to Barnum Armory on Sunday, that big battle flag that you see, it looks like It's a cavalry. It looks like an M almost. It's
Yeah.
hanging on the wall in the lounge near the fireplace. That was his battle flag. That was his battalion that got slaughtered at the Battle of Middleburg. This guy survived. He was one of 40 that survived and went on to become a lieutenant, went on to become a captain, served in Washington, D.C., and was a clerk when Lincoln was assassinated. Saw his body lying in state, and he came home and he built his house and he did a ton for Woonsocket and, walked it from a town to a city. Anyway, all his papers, all these documents in this back drawer in the Woonsocket Public Library or in the Rhode Island Historical Society had a journal that belonged to Colonel Duffy of that led the regiment. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was like one of my first real cases as an investigator that I did for somebody, and such a tremendous history. So to be able to connect that, we're talking about objects that a cavalry officer would carry into battle, and you get that old man's voice that comes through at the end that says, "I did that." That is just so chilling and awesome at the same time. It's one of my favorites.
All right, buddy, I got to show this clip. This is a clip that I did.
New tonight, the government is talking about hundreds of UFO sightings.
And Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Ian Cassette is joining us live right now in Studio B. So, Ian, what's in this report?
Well, the long-delayed, unclassified UFO report from the Director of National Intelligence is finally here. Did they finally confirm aliens exist? Not quite, but this is what they found. The report, mandated by the 2022 National Defense Authorization Act, includes input from the military, aviation, and NOAA. Since March 2021, when official monitoring began, 366 sightings have been reported. Of those 366, 26 were characterized as drones, 163 were balloons or balloon-like objects, and 6 were likely birds or plastic bags. That leaves 171 reported sightings which remain, quote, uncharacterized and unattributed. The report did not confirm or deny evidence of something extraterrestrial, but points to the growing concerns for the safety of pilots and possibly intelligence gathering by other countries. Captain Shem Malmquist, a visiting professor of aeronautics at Florida Institute of Technology, has decades of flying under his belt. Though he has never seen an unidentified aerial phenomena himself, he understands what many people are seeing.
Most likely optical illusions. I would say in a lot of cases, just the visibility at altitude makes things look a lot closer than they are and can make some very interesting effects.
This report shows the U.S. government.
First of all, that kid looks too young to be on the news. Second of all, that guy looked like he was on medication and was saying things that the government wanted him to say. My question is, how many balloons did they say were in the air? Like 26, 163, or 171. Which one were they of the three? Because here's my point. There's not that many balloons. How many balloons are there in the world right now up in the air? Honest to God, like balloons. How many You know what kills me? You ever watch a movie or a TV show and for some reason there's a balloon in the background? Like no one has balloons. I don't know if you guys know this. People don't put balloons around their house. I'm going to lose my mind. Why do they say weather? Wasn't that what the reason they used back in the 40s? A weather balloon? We're still going with that though, right?
I don't, Mike. I'm not at all involved in the world of UFOs. I hear a lot of good, interesting things. Our friend Patrick Donovan from the Varnum Armory does a lot of cool stuff with UFOs, but yeah, all past my level of thought. Honestly.
Maggie?
Well, it's not exactly in my wheelhouse, but
which is perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that that there are unidentified flying objects. When we were in Scotland, we got some in our pictures, lights and shapes that we couldn't explain. And we went to a famous hot spot in Scotland called Bonnybridge, and it's a UFO hotspot. And while we were there was a gentleman that stopped because it's an actual bridge, and we're standing on the bridge, and this gentleman came by in his car, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you see the cows over there?" He's talking about the cows, and we're like, "Yeah." He says, "Those are mine. I live there. I see them all the time. I see them all the time in the sky." And while we were there scouting for UFOs, some black helicopters came over. That was weird.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do, you know, that it's I'm not saying they're alien or they're extraterrestrial, but if there's something up there that you can't identify, it's not a drone, it's not a balloon, it's not a bird, it's
Something.
weird. Like one of them was like a cube shape that we got
Right.
that I got a picture of. It one of the people that we were with got a picture and it looks like a perfect cube. Like, is that a kite? Could it be a kite? I don't.
You know what it is? What the funny thing about all this is to me is that I did see a UFO. I did see something, and I saw it with someone who's like a sergeant now at a police department, and 3 other people. And what we saw, we didn't say anything. For some reason, I didn't say anything about it. I didn't tell anybody else at school. And then I'm talking years later. I'm having beers with the guy, and he goes, "You remember that time?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude." He goes, I started to think that it wasn't real. I'm like, "Me too, dude." I thought I just kind of made it up. But we all, and then we called a third person who was there, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you guys said that because I've been thinking that all these years." We saw something that for some reason, but is a mouth as big as mine, I didn't tell anybody. It was just we were walking through Lincoln Woods, which is like this park, just tons of woods and grass. Came around a corner, and there was something above us that was so big that you knew it was there. And there was 3 lights, 1, and it was just there. I just remember going like, "What the?" And we're like, "Wow!" And then it went, "Boom." When I say it went, "Boom," this thing above us just went. And when that happened, I was like, "Hey!" Like, I wasn't drinking booze. I wasn't drinking any of that. That one drink they used to make, buddy. That was like a sports drink, but it made you a loco extra something.
Right.
Loco. What's it called? You know it. You drank it.
Like Mad Dog 2020 was.
Mad Dog 2020.
Yeah,
We've been to the movies. What would you like?
Aren't smoking any Mother Nature or anything?
No. Listen, here's the God's honest truth.
Wacky tobacco.
This is hard to believe, but I did not smoke marijuana until I was 21. I did not drink till I was 19.
Wow.
I played sports all the way through high school, so I never did any of that stuff because I didn't want to lose any advantage. That's how competitive. That's how awful of a competitive person I am. So you would not want to play me. I was a horrible, great teammate, horrible to play against. But all right, buddy, what do you want me to show me next?
Let's do. It's case 3, EVP 32. Play.
Oh, Mrs. Champlin.
Hello.
Yeah, no.
I like that one. I heard that
That's
one.
a great one. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, all right, no. I have issue.
Can I explain the content of the video?
No. You don't get to talk first. This is how it works. We're going to discuss your video. First off, typos. Spoon. CHSMPLIN.
Champlin. She was.
That's not Champlin.
Oh, Mike, it was protecting the name of the innocent, or whatever. So all right, I had friends that had stayed in this hotel years before I was an investigator. They come back telling me, "Dude, you got to go and check this place out." We stayed in what's called Mama's room, and Mama's room, they get like feelings like they were being watched. One of them even saw an old lady standing in the corner of the room. They heard an old woman's voice a few times. They'd be sleeping and hear footsteps around the bed. You walk in, it's a bedroom with a bathroom attached. It's a 13 room suites at the Hygeia. So I went there, and each room was named in this building after a different person that had lived there. So it had not just served as a bed and breakfast and an annex to the Hygeia Hotel, which was a big 19th century hotel in the Victorian years that burned down in the early 20th century. It also was the home of the owner of the building was a Dr. John C. Champlin, who died during the influenza outbreak in 1917. Anyway, and he operated his doctor's office, the island's only morgue, and the influenza facility right there, and as well as a bed and breakfast and home to his family right there at this Hygeia house on Beach Ave in Block Island. So this room, Mama, was named for his mother, who lived in that room for 40 years. She outlived both of her sons who owned the place.
Buddy.
She died in the 1930s.
Buddy.
So we walked into the room, and I asked for the old lady, being sarcastic. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, hey, where's the old lady? Scott, who was with us, it was myself, Catherine, and her husband, Scott, who basically was the mule. The entire night just carried everything, didn't say anything. Says to me, buddy, you got to remember, you're talking to a woman from like the 1900s, early 1900s, late 1800s. She's Victorian. She's used to being treated with respect. You got to say, so you guys greet her like, hello, Mrs. Champlin. He says that, and immediately there's this hello, and right, clear as day, like Mrs. Champlin was in the room with us, which I believe she was. But that's
All right.
the quote.
So Maggie, let me go really fast, and then you can give your opinions on what you just heard. Yeah, you definitely hear hello. That one's actually so clear that I wish I had video, because it almost sounds like there's somebody standing there saying hello. That's how clear that hello is.
Mm-hmm.
And buddy, I'm shocked that they named the room Mama after the mother.
Yeah.
That's a stretch. I don't know how they came up with that name. Those guys are creative geniuses.
Very creative geniuses, Mike.
Whew. Maggie, you're up.
Well, I did hear the hello, and it sounds like an elderly lady, because she's like, hello,
Hello. Yep.
Like, yeah, she's, and you can really hear the tone of her voice, because it sounds like an older woman. I am rapidly losing battery energy, so if I just blink out, you'll know what happened.
That happens all the time. We got a guy named Joey Paranormal, who I'd like to wish a very happy birthday to, Joe. Let me grab something to drink.
Happy birthday, Joe. Happy 31st birthday, you old fuck.
He's not that old. You're not old at all.
Not old at all, Joe.
Joey.
Cheers.
Also, like to announce that one of our legit podcast members, Jai Mack, is out of the hospital, and she's doing okay in recovery so far. Another toast. All right. What do you want to come up with next, buddy?
I have one more clip for us, Mike. I have a few, but we can do one more. Since we're already on Block Island, we're going to leave Mama's room. We're going to go upstairs to what was Uncle L's room, the other owner of the location. Uncle L was a state senator. Him and his brother.
You're doing it again.
I'm just going to play it. And then I'll talk later. Here we go.
Okay, now.
You always talk about kids. Mike. Here's your opportunity.
Not you. Maggie, did you hear uh-oh, get going? And then I heard I'm sorry. I think that's I'm sorry. But I don't know if it's uh-oh, get going. What did you hear?
I didn't hear the words, but I did hear somebody talking, and it was words. It was, like a whole sentence.
Let's do it again then, Maggie.
Who is it that's standing right in front of me? Making my device go nuts, lighting up.
Get going. I'm sorry.
I hear, gotta go. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
So that room I was staying, it was a double suite. There's 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. Catherine and her husband Scott were in one suite. I was in the other. I was getting nothing on a K2. I was holding a K2 and a recorder in each hand, and I was getting nothing on either. And we're just asking basic questions. And then the K2 started spiking at about waist level, and it would go down to like my feet, and then it would disappear like up here. So I wasn't sure if it was the wires. I wasn't sure. So I addressed the paranormal side of it, and I said it. That's why I said if anything's making in front of my device, making it go nuts, because it was spiking right up in the. I don't have a K2 sitting around, but it was going on all 5, 6 lights. Every light was going off on this thing, and there was nothing. There was nothing prior to the investigation that evening. We did do sweeps of the entire residence, and there were no like huge spikes like that anywhere. So that was just, and the fact that it was a kid was even more interesting because I knew a lot of the history of the building. I didn't know this. When we played that for the woman, she's like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense." Like, why were there kids that lived there? She's like, there were a kid that lived there that died. There was a kid that was lived there in the 60s. His grandfather was Dr. John C. Champlin, and he was down at the canal where New Harbor flows into Old Harbor, and he got swept through with the high tide and he drowned. And I think it was like 62, 63. He was 10 years old. So that high-pitched voice that we're hearing might be that kid still kind of hanging out where he used to live. It's kind of weird.
That is weird. I mean, it is weird because, like, again, I firmly believe that. So see how there's a spirit of that kid in that house. Let's just assume that. Let's make an ass out of you and me. Assume that right over, right?
Sure.
So say that there's a spirit of a kid in that house. I still don't think that that's that kid's soul.
Why not?
Maggie, I have a hard time.
Good tells you otherwise.
Kids and dogs go to heaven. That's it.
You might have a good point. What you picked up might have been residual, just like an imprint.
Yes.
Could have been. Yeah, could have been.
I have a hard time with kids dying and then being stuck here and not knowing enough to pass on. Like that's been a big issue with me with paranormal. So I would love to think that that's just what you just said, as opposed to it's not the kid's soul. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, just residue. Yeah,
all right.
Imprint. Like maybe you did something bad in that room and
it's stuck there. Yeah.
So, Maggie, we're gonna end this with a video that's of silly nature. It's about scary river monsters caught on the news. As I was looking through all the videos, they caught this river monster, and it's just a big, dumb-looking crocodile. And I don't understand it reminds me of back in the days when you would do the news, and then at the last 5, it was only half a hour. And at the end of the news, they do like 5 minutes on like a llama. You know what I mean? Like, because there was nothing else for news. But to be completely honest, they had it right. 30 minutes is enough for news. Let me end with this. If you'd like to drop off, you can, Maggie, while we do that. In case your thing runs out, it's going to be silly, but it's up to you.
Okay.
Langsung disambar ayamnya. You end up in the boat in a minute. Look at him.
You can see how crystal clear this water is. And guess what, guys? We were just about to spear a barramundi right here, and then guess what we saw? That's right. That's about a 4.5 meter crocodile. Right, Holly?
Firing a gun at a hippo.
Stupid.
Look, here's my one question. Why is it that all these things and events are seen and involve idiots? Seems like it to me, Maggie. They don't seem very bright. They were petting the stingray like, hey, the sting. It's like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And then the first one about what would you do if you saw a crocodile like that come out of the water? I would briskly, and the word adverb I'm using is briskly, walk away. I would run. If I can't outrun that big of a crocodile, forget it. I should get eaten, for Christ's sake, Christopher's sake. You know what I'm saying? Maggie, what did you think of all those animals? What scared you the most?
The one with the dogs, with the dog.
Yes, that was awesome.
I couldn't really see what was in the water.
That was one of those, the big lizards, they're the Komodos. The Komodo dragon. That was a Komodo dragon.
Komodo.
Scary.
You could see the head when it came out at the end to like hiss at the dogs. But those are wild dogs, and there's nothing more dangerous than wild dogs, man. But they'll go after anything. Like that's why they call, the term wild dogs. Right. Buddy, we reached an hour. I thoroughly enjoyed this show. This is going to be a fun show.
That was a lot of fun, Mike.
This is more, as Maggie used the term, in my wheelhouse. I enjoy watching videos, making comments, getting to be as dumb as I am, and it's accepted by all. Not all, probably like 20%.
Most.
Maggie, any last words before I wrap this one up?
I wanted to ask you about your experience at Lincoln Woods. You were near, right? You were
water,
near.
Yeah, there's like if you could call it that. They shut it down every other year because of duck poop.
Yeah, there's a lake there, right?
Yep.
Yes, good fishing.
I've had other people report similar experiences to me.
Wow.
Island, and they all involved bodies of water.
It was a gigantic. It was just a shadow of something so humongously above us, making no noise. Her battery's dying. It was just there, and it wasn't like that's what scared us because it just made us stop and look as if to be like, "What's going on above us?" Like couldn't figure it out. Didn't know if there's a canopy. Like couldn't figure out what this was, but saw the lights and we're like, "What the?" When it left, that's when we freaked, and we're like, Let's walk back. We went right. It was me, 2 friends. There's 3 girls there. My 2 friends were by themselves, and I was with the. No, we're all couples. So what happened was we saw that, and we all jetted back. I've talked to the 3 guys and 2 of the girls, and they all remember the exact same friggin' thing. And we all say the same thing. Why didn't we tell anybody? Do you find it odd that we never said anything to anyone ever? I never told my parents. I never told anyone for a long time. I didn't talk about it.
It's a stigma.
No, wait, no, it's not, buddy. It's more than that. It was like almost like I just didn't even. It was not even of my memory. And then my friend, who is now, like I told you, one of the sergeants, probably higher than that now with police, called me up one night to put the fear of God in me, and he said, "Mike, when we were looking up at the whatever it was we saw," he goes, "You think there's any chance that maybe like we kind of like passed out or we blacked out and anything more happened?" And I was like, "Why did you have to bring that up? That wasn't even in my little head. Now I got to think about that. Now I got to think about what if I was abducted? That's not fun. That's not a good call to make to somebody. If you got that kind of issue in your head, keep it to yourself, buddy. Look at me. Keep it to yourself." Maggie, would you like to say anything as far as what you got going on? Anything else like that before we do a wrap?
No, I'm supposed to be on a podcast next week. And I'll say the name of the podcast on your podcast.
Of course you can.
Please do.
Okay, called Paranormal. It's a podcast, and I'll be on it on the 25th.
Paranormal normal.
The Paranormal, the New Normal is the name.
The new normal.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Yeah. So.
You can feel free to post a link on Legit Podcast.
Yeah, well,
Legit Paranormal Podcast. We'd be lucky to share your stuff.
Yeah, so I'll be doing that next week, and other than that, just hunting ghosts.
Our thing is we don't mind sharing other podcasts. Like we don't, because we're not competing. I don't think I get a trophy at the end of this. I haven't got a trophy, and I've been doing like $500 worth of work. So the best I got out of all this was what, buddy? Oh,
just kind of hearing your own voice out in the end of it, Mike. Honestly.
Yeah, that's the truth. I do.
I actually watch face,
I watch all my shows nonstop, 24 hours a day. I just watch me. Dude, I actually don't watch any of my shows. I hate my own voice. Buddy, what do you want to say to wrap it up?
Oh boy, tune in after football is almost done on Sunday night, live at 7:05. Our guest is Daniel Duke. Daniel Duke, not David Duke. Daniel Duke is an author. He is the great-great-grandson of Western gunslinger Jesse James. He has authored numerous books on the treasures of Jesse James, the treasure of the Confederacy, the tie-ins with the okay, what are those people called? The Masons and the all those weird groups of people. And all the fun conspiracies that are tied along with them. Not weird, but you know what I'm talking about. Or like,
no, I really don't.
The hidden treasures, like national treasure, like the hidden treasures of the Confederacy buried like under Mount Rushmore and shit like that. So tune in Sunday live at 7:05 after football's done. Should be a good time.
Okay, buddy, I just want to really quickly go over this. This is where you can watch all our shows live streaming on our www.legitpodcast.com. This is our schedule right here. Monday all the way to Sunday. Now, if you notice, tomorrow is Legit Bigfoot Encrypteds with ECBRO, hosted by Daniel Bigfoot Benoit. Monday nights, we're doing Legit Paranormal Open Bar for now until Professor Stone and the Cellar Dwellers podcast takes over. Tuesday night, it's a Legit Metaphysical World with Auntie Dale. She alternates weeks of having a guest and doing live readings. Wednesday night was last night, the Legit Paranormal News, which I got to say was probably my favorite show. Maybe it's because I was the only one on it. Thursday night is, where we're at, right? This is us doing it right now.
We might do football, right? Football be in there somewhere.
Football will come back. Again, I'm going to get that at the end. And then Legit Paranormal Clips. Friday night, we're back to that. Ba-ba-ba-ding, bada-boom. That's all I got to say. So if you want to catch our shows, please come check that out. Now, I want to wrap this show up by doing it this way. So for Margaret Florio and Buddy Money Thayer, on Saturday night at 8:30, your New York Football Giants are going to beat the ever-loving feathers out of the Philadelphia Eagles, the armpit of football areas. And I want to end this show the only way I can think of a Giants fan would end this show. So for King Michael, this was Legit Paranormal Clips brought to you by legitpodcast.com. And the Giants are in the second round of the playoffs. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Where the Pats at? Where the Pats at? How about the Dolphins? How about the Dolphins? They ain't there. They ain't there. They ain't there. But we there. Hey, guys, thanks. I'll see you next time.